beautiful. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
So sweet.
I don't think so.
No.
Is it missing? Yes.
But we're excited, and we're just grateful because I think faith is everything to us. And we've always said we want to be equally yoked, but I think to be able to have even our production company be focused on faith-based content and inspirational content, and this is our first real big one like this with you. And so we're excited. I think that you're going to have many years of being on feature films and much more. But I think that the faith part of it, just to inspire a generation, I think just tell Ciara's story, a true story, a young black girl in America who becomes one of the wealthiest young girls in America, but also more importantly than anything else, is a young girl who's encourages, inspires, and that's what we want to tell, because we want to encourage and inspire somebody else to keep overcoming the obstacles, and that's what you did in this movie, and you demonstrate that in a beautiful way. So we're just grateful for you, and we're grateful for us being able to do this with you, being so young. Yeah. We're going to look back and we're going to do a whole bunch of movies together. And this is just the first one, but we're just grateful for who you are and what you're doing.
And then Russell, specifically for you,
It's a true story. And I think it's one that will inspire so many people and remind them of it's important, to be consistent and protect your life. And when you understand the importance of who you are and what you're capable of, you've got to stand tall on that. You've got to have faith in that. You've got to walk confidently in that. And I do believe when you watch Ciara's story, you're going to feel all of that. You're going to be reminded of the spirit of the Holy Spirit.
Telling your splash.
You know a lot of times, but you've got to be ready. Especially when you're telling you've got to keep the spirit of, in faith. So I think that when they see this movie, I hope and
If you finish your interview, please start heading down to the screening room because we are going to start
tap into it in Ciara, and the thing is that Ciara's not just for her. Guys can also be inspired too. She was also really vocal in her house, I think even for her parents, and that was really cool too, to see a young girl so confident, so spiritually connected. She knew what she was like, I'm going to stand on business. Like, I know what we have. I know our value. We can do this, and also let off a spark into her mom, her mother, and father, which I think is really important. So, I would say for all of us.
Super Bowl champion quarterback and philanthropist, Mr. Russell Wilson. Grammy award-winning superstar and cultural icon and grand dame of Getting It Low, Miss Ciara.
I had to help her up the steps, you know.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
What's up, New York? What's up, New York? I'm just saying, guys, this is home to us, so that hits a little different now when we say that. So we're very, very proud to be here with all of you guys. And I have to say, it's as I said, it's such a joy. And as executive producers of Ciara's Oil, and with our YD Productions, we can honestly say that this film has been one of the most meaningful projects we've ever been a part of. From day one, we knew this story was something special and needed to be told. Not just because of the talent and passion behind it, but because of the heart at its center.
Yeah, we're super excited. Obviously, first of all, it's good to be here with you all, but this film is truly a celebration of just faith, just encouragement, women overcoming. This young girl, Ciara, who's 11 years old, becomes one of the wealthiest people in America. Young black girl. Young black girl becomes one of the wealthiest people in America. And it's just an amazing, amazing story of just continue to strive and keep going. And we're just grateful. Every person on this team, too, the incredible cast, crew, our Amazon director, Cyrus Norstay, and all the producers poured their souls into bringing this story to the big screen, and so we're super, super excited about it.
Yes, you know what I said? When you watch this film, you will agree with me and say, Ciara was gangsta. Yeah. She was not your average 11-year-old girl, but she was gangsta. She was about that life. She was standing on business, okay? And such an inspiration, I think, beyond, for girls that look like her, obviously, but also even for families. I think there's just so much beauty and heart to this story that I'm excited to watch. We're excited to watch this with you guys. We also want to acknowledge our partners at Kingdom Story, Amazon MGM Studios, the Wonder Project for believing in this project and helping us share it with the world. And we are so thrilled to share the stage with a remarkable woman who in her breakout performance as Ciara Rector brings such grace and light to the screen, Naya Desir Johnson.
There she is, right there, right
There
there.
you go.
Go ahead, girl. Young star.
So sweet, and she rocked this role. So remember to stick around for our Q&A at the end. But until then, it is my absolute honor to introduce this incredible film, Sarah's Oil. Thank you guys so much for being here and enjoy the movie. We're gonna do it together.
Thank you, guys.
Desir Johnson. Next up, I would like to bring to the stage the executive producer, Ciara. And the other executive producer, Mr. Russell Wilson. Welcome. Congratulations, such a great film, and something that, you know, as someone who feels very astute about Black history, I was so surprised I had never heard of Ciara Rector. Were any of you guys aware of Ciara before finding out about this project?
I mean, this was a big discovery for us as well. And that's what really propelled us to be a part of this, because we were like, this story has to be told. It has to be seen. It's, as you mentioned, it's so beautiful and so powerful, and so it's rich history. So as soon as we learned about the story, we were excited to be a part of this special moment and film.
Yeah, and to be able to meet Naya. Naya, you did such a magnificent job.
Naya is on fire.
Naya is so powerful. How did you prepare for this role?
It was a lot of researching. What also helped was the searching for Ciara Rector, the book. Me and my mom bought it, and we researched, and we looked, and we read through the Trail of Tears.
Yes.
And the history behind is so important. And that's how I really got a full grasp of Ciara Rector's story. And also in the researching, me and my mom, we went to 3 different churches to talk to Ciara Rector's family, and also to be around the community in which she lived in. And also what helped too was just being around the place where Ciara Rector grew up and her family. And I think that was just easier for me to understand what she was going through at the time.
Wow, that's some deep research. Yeah, right?
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, shout out to our mom.
Mom, can you wait for us real quick?
Yeah. I'm sure seeing her father, Robert Rector, in this film, and seeing him be not only a provider but a protector, I'm sure that resonated with you, yes?
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously to see the family as a whole, first of all, to see this amazing girl shine the way you did in the movie, it's spectacular, and I think your courageousness in the movie. But I think the family part of it was what I was really excited about. Obviously, I think the first thing was the faith side.
Yeah.
The story of just her resilience and her ability to trust God, and just her putting her ear to the ground and just hearing the rivers flow, you know, like the oceans. And I just feel like sometimes in our lives, we all have these moments, these monumental moments at some point in our life where we got to put our ear to the ground. We just got to trust God in such a way. And I think this this movie depicts that in such a beautiful way, and I think you did that in such an amazing way. I think the side of the fatherhood side, I definitely relate to. To see an amazing young girl who's only 11 years old. I think about my daughter Sienna, who is as courageous as they come, and reminds me of you in this movie. And I think about our young daughter Amora. And if we have another child one day.
Okay, we gotta hear it first. There's another one.
But I think what's amazing as a parent is sometimes we gotta listen to our kids too. And imagine the father who was trying to sell the land, without her approval was kind of devastating to see at one point. But then she convinces, basically convinces that don't sell. We ain't selling. And that's one of my favorite lines. You say, I ain't selling. That's one of my favorite lines. But just there's so many monumental moments. I think also Bert does an amazing job in the movie. I think one of my favorite parts of the movie is when you guys are in the car and you say, I know, you're not him. And I think there's a moment in time where Bert ends up, punching the guy who's trying to say the N-word.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's knocking out his past.
Yes. Yeah.
In that moment. And through all his sin and all the things that he's lived in and all the moving of his life, I feel like there's a monumental moment that you inspire in him in that movie, in that part, in that whole throughout the whole time. And I think that's how this young generation is going. I think faith is the centerpiece of just change, and I think the movie does an amazing job of that.
Yeah.
These stories have to keep being told. It's so important. These moments were significant for the course of life for us, right? Sarah was a big piece of change for us historically, and we have to keep these stories going. I want for Sienna to know this story, and for Aurora to know this story, and to know a big part of her why, and why she can, why she will, why we can overcome. Like, I have the Sarah in me.
Yes, you do.
I had, when I was a little girl, there was a Sarah in me. And so we've got to keep telling those stories so girls can know their value and know their power in their voice, right? And so 100%, we have to keep these stories going. It's a beautiful story.
It's a beautiful story.
Right? A story of hope, a story of faith, a story of believing. She had so many odds stacked against her. Being a young girl, being a girl of color, in that time. We don't even know what it's like to be in that time. But I can only imagine, right? And so to have a big voice, I think for me, what it showed me was the power of like how God is the ultimate say-so.
Yes.
He has the ultimate say-so. He is the ultimate judge. He is the ultimate ruler. Because that was a spiritual thing for Sarah.
Yeah.
To have that much conviction and confidence in her conviction, and to be able to push through even fighting past your parents. Speaking loud to your parents about your belief at 11 years old.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that's not God, right? So I really love that spiritual part of it. You guys know Russ and I were very spiritual. We really believe in the power of, what God and Jesus can do, and the power of faith, man. They said if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And I think that what Sarah did, she stood confident in her faith that was really given to her through God, because she was supposed to be in this world. Sarah was supposed to be who she was. It's just another reminder of his beautiful work. And how, again, he cuts through anything, any noise, he cuts through the impossible. He makes the possible impossible, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
also David and Goliath, right?
Yes.
A tiny little girl.
Tiny little voice, right?
Yes, but able to stand up to not just one white man, but a myriad of them.
Yeah.
And she also had agency. For me, that was the most impressive part, that she had agency. And for you, Naya, which part of Sarah resonates most in regards to Sarah?
I think first I want to say that we can't let our story be lost.
That's right.
Because one thing that we need to remember when our story is being told and told over again, there is always one part of the story that is always being changed, either for the better or for the worse. But I think this movie really highlights how this story almost actually how it went, not just highlighting all the good parts in the story. Because if Sarah always got what she got, many people in the audience today, and even me, you wouldn't feel that connection. She's not facing any struggles. We can't really relate. But when we see someone fall down and they get up, that's what we can relate to. Because we all have our own personal struggles that we still have to get back up again, brush ourselves off and say, okay, let me try again. And the thing that most resonated with me with Ciara was her braveness and her faithfulness and her love for her family and for her friends and for her community. Because at the end of the day, her community was with her.
Yes.
One body is stronger, but 10 times the amount is even stronger.
So,
She makes me proud to be me.
yeah.
You
So
make me really
inspiring.
proud, yeah. And you're awesome.
I can't wait to see all that you do, because you are, not only are you incredible as an actor, but just you as a little tiny human, you're just magnificent. Really, that's the word that comes to mind. Hearing you speak and your poise, your presence, your intelligence. So thank you for just existing in this world. We need more of you.
And thank you all of you people for existing in this project. Because most of the people who made this project, if you didn't exist, this wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have known the untold Ciara Rector story. And I think it's such an important part of our history. Because she's the first, not the second or the third, the first little black girl in America to become a millionaire. And no one else inside the Ciara Rector family walls had ever heard this story. And I think it's really important to me that people know the truth.
Yes, indeed. Well, speaking of knowing,
We were super excited, our Why Not You Productions, to be able to partner with the teams and Kingdom Story and so many others, and just everybody who put this together. We were really fired up about it. I think that for us in particular, we really want to tell, for me and Ciara, we really want to tell, with our Why Not You Productions, we really want to tell inspirational, faith-based content. Content that's going to move people. As you guys, I think our favorite part of the movie, just sitting here watching in theaters with you all, is just seeing y'all's reactions. To each moment. And I think the best part too is just seeing that God move you all's spirit through the movie. I love the part where the mom's in the house and she's like, "Nah, this is God gave it to us. We ain't giving it back." And so like I just think that sometimes, I know from my mom, my dad, Ciara's mom, dad, God gave us something, we ain't giving it back. And I think that's motivational. But like we were passionate when we heard about the story, we got to read about it and everything else. We were fascinated because we want our kids to dream, we want other kids to dream, we want you to dream. And you were able to do that in such a beautiful way. And I think to be able to work with spiritually, to be able to work with people that are in spiritual alignment with you, when you're producing and making movies as like Sarah's Oil, I think that's the part that's the most amount of joy. I was telling somebody earlier, they were asking me a question on the red carpet earlier, and they were saying, you and Ciara are doing, movies and creating Why Not You Productions, like how did this all start? And I said to them, I said, well, the first time me and Ciara ever met, I'm kind of bold, and I said, what's on your bucket list? What's on your bucket list? And one of the things she said is, I want to start a school, I want to do a foundation. We talked about doing, our own production company, and we've done all three.
wow.
And so to be able to create our school, Why Not You Academy, to be able to do our Why Not You Foundation, to be able to launch Why Not You Productions into our first real big feature film, being Ciara's Oil with You, a young black star who's going to have many years of success on film. I just think that it's you're one of the most amazing individuals. And to be able to sit here on stage with you, I just can't wait to get these photos like 20, 30 years from now. Yeah, we go on stage with her first. But this is just, we were fired up to do this because of the intent to really glorify God, really glorify Ciara Rector's family, and just to worship, man. This movie to me is about worship, it's about praise, it's about love, it's about forgiveness. It's about people coming together, black and white. It's about just telling the story of a young black girl who was the first one to ever become a millionaire, but also a girl who, like I said, put her ear to the ground and just let the Spirit run through her and say, you know what, there's oil down here, there's something special down here, there's something special within me. And so that's why we did it, and it was a no-brainer. As soon as we read it and heard about it, our whole team at YD Productions and Zach and Jordan Farmer and all the team, our team, Ciara and I, and just everybody internal, it was a no-brainer for us to do.
Things seem like they're bigger than us and impossible. That why not you mentality is so necessary, and you have to say to yourself, why not me?
That's right.
And so that correlation is real, and it goes back to our mission to impact and just keep that message going. And I think that when you watch this film, it does spark that, why not me?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I overcome something that seems so much bigger? Why can't I make this dream that I have happen? Why can't I do what they say I can't do? Why can't I overcome the impossible? Why not? Why not you? So it's direct correlation, as you're saying, in reference to Ciara's story. And we love it when it happens like that, because something good is going to happen, and so, yeah.
And is it because you're not involved in pop culture that much? You don't have social media? Tell me, what's the scope?
So, in school, I'm the only kid in my class, one of the few kids in my class that don't have any phones. And I'm gonna drop a bomb on you! I love music in general, but I've never really met you guys before. And meeting you guys now, you guys are very kind and challenging people. And I'm glad to be working on this film project with you. And hopefully many more. I also want to piggyback off what you said earlier. Some people look at themselves in the mirror one day and they tell themselves physically and mentally that they can't do what they want to do today, whether it's just getting out of bed in the morning. They tell themselves that they can't nail that interview for the job they've wanted for so long. But you can. You need strength from other people, but you also need that strength from yourself to just get up, even if it's just getting out of bed and putting on your clothes, not even stepping out the door, just getting ready, just preparing. You need to prepare yourself. You need the first step to getting that job. You need the first step for climbing that rock wall that you wanted to do for so long, but you were so scared.
Yes, that's on my bucket list. Come on, Naya, talk that talk, baby.
I think people should come out and see Ciara's Oil because first, it's really fun. It's really exciting, and also, it's just phenomenal. I think it's a really amazing movie, and I'm not saying But it won't hurt you to get out and see this. And if anyone who's watching this right now, get out and see it, because if you're feeling sad or you just don't want to move, I think this is a good place to go and lift your spirits.
Yeah.
And this is a story that you can go and tell your friends, and you can be like, hey, I know this person. And they're like, what do you mean? And you can recommend it to them too. And it's just gonna be a cycle that goes on and on. So share this story, go out on November 7th, and be excited and hopeful and just ecstatic after you see it.
Yeah. Love that.
I think that the reason why I think people should go see it is, adding on to what you're saying, I think that first of all, if you love a story of empowerment, if you love a story of faith, if you love a story about love and forgiveness, a story that, as you mentioned, at the end of the movie, you're on an all-time high.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think the movie does a great job of that. I think also too, it's great for date night. It's Ciara and I was looking forward to this night.
Oh.
Another
baby.
Yeah. You're on the same page. Maybe they were Ciara. But I think that a big part of this is just you can bring your kids and family. Our kids haven't seen it. Future seen it. Win and Laura, they haven't seen it yet. So we plan on having a little date night with them and bringing them and just sharing this moment because they're a part of it too. Because they're really a big part of our inspiration of why we did the film, why we want to be a part of it. So I just think that it's a story that's going to hopefully do some big things, and to be able to do this with Amazon, as I said, but to get people in these seats and to fellowship together. This is what God intends.
Yes.
It's like fellowship, and we can do amazing things through sport, through music, through fashion. We can also do it through production and movies and telling stories. And this story, most importantly, for Black culture is significant because a young Black girl named Ciara Rector, who's 11 years old, who overcomes every challenge, all the courtrooms, all the people trying to steal from her, battles racism, battles hate, somebody trying to kill her and her family and everything else. She overcomes all of that, and the only way she overcomes that is by the grace of God. And so this story is us. This story is American history, and it's a story of wealth, and it's a story of just overcoming it. Just like I said, a whole lot of God in it. So that's why you should see it and tell all your friends and everybody about it.
I think Naya and Russ said it all. But I think too, there's the beauty of when we all come together, because if you think about the dynamic of Bert, right, in Sarah's world, in that time, for him to stand up and to take this young girl under his wings and boldly do it and not care, and understanding who he was in the universe, and he used his power to bring us together and to support us, that time period, that is so significant for so many reasons.
Yeah, certainly.
So the beautiful thing is that it's not limited to people that look like us on the stage. It's for everyone.
It is.
And as Russ mentioned, for families coming together, I think there's an educational opportunity. I think about our daughter Sienna. She's just 8 years old, but I know some of y'all know Lil CC. She is a very confident, fearless young girl, and I can't wait to sit down with her and to show her this film to double down her confidence and conviction she should have within herself. So there's the different angles from, the parent side of it to the child side of it. This movie kind of speaks to everyone, not one person's left out. So I love the beauty of that, and it is, as I mentioned, it's rich history, and so you got to go tell your friend, and tell another friend, repost the pieces that you may have taken on your phone tonight. Repost, you can go to Sarah's Oil on Instagram, repost clips there because they're really beautiful pieces that the team has put together to give you a nice little overview of what you will see in the film. But we have to, as a collective,
Yes.
not just as one race, as a collective, we have to keep these stories going. We need them. You know how beautiful it is. History is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? It's so beautiful when my kids come home proudly talking about different things they learned about in school that predated them like way back. And them having, like, actually being knowledgeable about it. There's something so beautiful about that. So that rich history is important that we keep that going. And especially in a time like the time we're living in, we need to do this now more than ever.
Yeah.
We need to keep the stories going. We have to,
We
right?
have to, it's imperative.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned,